It's Worship Culture Radio.
What's going on, everybody? This is your boy Isaiah Thornton with Worship Culture Radio Show, and I'm so glad to have with us on today and this phenomenal young lady, Shanta Atkins. What's going on?
Hey. How are you? I'm good.
I'm doing great. If you don't know, she is a gospel singer, artist, and I'm gonna just call her, she's an evangelist, man. she can preach the word. She can definitely preach the word. But you have a very a great lineage, in the church and things like that. Your sisters, definitely doing their thing and all that. So we're glad to have you on with Worship Culture on today. So let's jump in. Let's talk. Let's dialogue. We're gonna talk about the quarantine. We're gonna talk about the new music you got out.
Yes.
You got some dope stuff out. We actually already played it. And we've been playing it for I think a couple weeks now. Yeah, we've been playing it for a couple weeks.
Thank you.
So we definitely gonna continue to play it. Love your music, love your spirit. And
thank you.
We'll get to all the social media stuff where people can follow you at and all that stuff like that once we're done with the interview. But tell me, how you dealing with this quarantine?
I'm a extrovert, but honestly, I've been going out of the house almost every day. Don't tell anybody. I leave every day, so I don't I have a different perspective in regards to the whole pandemic. I believe it's planned, but I won't go into all of that.
Oh man, so you on the conspiracy theory?
You see, and that word conspiracy theorist was created by the CIA.
You know what? It's not
with facts.
You know what? Man? Yeah, we need to talk
yes,
I got some stuff I can share with you that is off the chain. And I mean, I don't look at conspiracy theory necessarily as a bad word, because the stuff does exist. You know what I mean? There are things that we put it like this. Once we're done with everything, we're gonna talk, because I got some stuff I'm gonna share with you. So you're doing good during the quarantine. Now you actually live in Chicago, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So you're in Chicago. So aside from being, gospel artist, what else do you do? What's your other, form of work and things like that?
So my career would be, I'm a teacher.
Yeah.
I'm teaching middle school. And so that's my, my full-time job. And
that's
then
beautiful.
Yeah, so it's dope.
Yeah.
It's dope. I started teaching in 2016, and I've loved it ever since. So I've done all of K through 12, but right now I'm with middle school. And it was tough at first. It was with these.
I can imagine.
With these students, they real disrespectful.
Yeah.
But you have to have, I believe you have to have the grace and the anointing to really do it and do it well. You know what I mean? Because it's a lot. It's a lot. And you have to really have the love and the care, for the students. And honestly, this is the first school that I say that I've been at to where I was just I don't like these kids. And I'm kind of whispering it because I probably shouldn't say that. But I was just God, I really feel God, help me to like these kids, because it was tough, man. It was tough. It was.
So you've done K through 12. You did that before, and now you with middle school. So was it a obviously, I guess it is a difference in the kids and their mindset, what you have to deal with. And things like that. What was that transition like? Was it hard to adjust, or?
So I'll say this. So when I started off teaching, I started off with middle school. I was a special education teacher, right?
Okay.
And I started off as a substitute, so I had long-term positions, and I would always get thrown into, I feel what was the worst, classes.
Wow.
The stuff that nobody else could deal with. And so that particular class, they couldn't find a teacher that would stay longer than a few days.
So how long have you been doing this?
Teaching since 2000, so 4 years.
4 years, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So I would say it takes something different for each grade that you're working with. I would say I prefer K through 5 I didn't do too much of high school, a whole bunch of high school. I substituted for high school, but I wasn't like a permanent teacher for high school. So that was more K-5, and then now at middle school. So it's cool, learning and growing. And the people that you work with, I mean, when I tell you that makes a world of difference, it really, really does.
I'm sure it does.
Yeah.
I'm sure it does. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
and I'm able to. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you go.
No, you do your thing because you just going. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. No, what I was gonna ask you was, I mean, would you prefer to do high school? Like, would you like?
No, I prefer K-5 actually.
Straight up. I think I would like high school.
Yeah, give me the little babies. I love little kids though.
Okay. And is it because they're impressionable? Is it because you can like really pour into them?
Yeah, they listen more. They are more impressionable. I remember when I was teaching the third grade, a friend of mine told me, and I hadn't known this before. I heard about like Prison to Pipeline, but I didn't know the fullness of it. But the Prison to Pipeline is basically they take the reading scores of third graders to know how many beds to create in prisons. And so working with the third grade, I learned a lot about it's such a pivotal age. And so for me, I try my best to get kids on the level that they're supposed to be or beyond, and I think a lot of people don't know that.
You just dropped a bombshell. Like, what?
You got to be informed. Listen, I'm all about facts.
Yeah,
research,
we gotta
informed.
Talk. That just blew my entire mind. So look, you doing your teaching thing. You doing well. So you moved from California
to Chicago.
Man, what was that like? I was just at, what was that like?
Hard. It's been hard. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm the youngest in my family.
Right.
Nobody in my family has. Yeah. Oh, yay! Babies unite. Yay! Babies unite. Yeah. So it was difficult because no one in my family has ever moved. Like I said, I'm the youngest. I'm a female. A single female on my own. No, you know what I mean. Kids. Nothing. Like I didn't really know anybody. So, it really was. It was a bold move, Wow. And I really did it because I really believed in my heart, and that's what the Lord wanted me to do. But I didn't want to. But I did it anyway. And I grew. I've grown. I believe just so much, just emotionally, and learned more about myself. And it gave me time for God just to be able to process things through me because, you don't have the responsibility. You don't have the people who are always there, like, depending on you in ministry and stuff like that. So for me, it was kind of like that time where God could just process me and I could deal with all of my hurts, my brokenness, my wounds, those things. And also grow me in the area of ministry that, he's called me to.
Wow. So do you see yourself staying in Chicago, or you feel like you'll go somewhere else? Yeah.
I won't stay there.
Get me out of here immediately. No.
Listen, that's real. But for real, I think for me, the main thing is just like the weather. Like the weather and then like landscape. And I know that that's like, people just like, what? But I'm like, listen, I was born and raised in California. I don't know nothing else. So for me to not be able to go out of the house, that's just like,
it's
to
crazy,
not, it is. And then to not like have hills and mountains where like I love going hiking, I love going walking, I love like the outdoors, so I can't really do that there, you know what I mean? I tried to in the city, but one of my friend's husband was like, where are you? And came and snatched me up because I'll just go for walks. Like I love going for walks. I can't do it out there. Not as no single female. It's dangerous,
It's very dangerous. God, it's very dangerous, man. I was about to say something, but I
just be out here.
I was going to say something. I can't say it.
What was you gonna say? Why you can't?
I can't say it. I can't say it because it goes back into the whole. It goes into a whole nother conversation. It is very dangerous for an African American female in Chicago to be out by herself like that. It's very dangerous.
Yeah, I used to be out in the streets.
Yeah,
walking just.
Yeah, it's very dangerous.
Yeah,
it's very dangerous. Let me continue. We're gonna talk about that.
Okay.
Let me continue. So you have a new single out, and you have a very musical family.
Yes.
Your sisters obviously did Mary before they went to their solo careers and things like that. And then here you come, just just breaking through, you know what I mean, the clouds, and just like your single is so dope. Like, real talk.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Like the vibe of it was like consistent. And I hope you hear when I say this, the vibe of it is consistent with like your lineage, like the professionalism of it, the quality of it, everything, the artwork, the whole.
I appreciate that.
I'm dead serious. I'm being real with you. So tell me about that process. I know as an artist what that process is like, but it's different for everybody, and you have certain things that happen, you know, in that process of recording. So tell me about that process, and you know, like about now, did you write the song or who wrote the song?
Yeah, I write all my music.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I write all my music.
Yeah,
period. So I write all my music. The way that I kind of get songs and stuff like that, it kind of just comes to me randomly, honestly. I know that some people they're like, oh, I'm sitting and I'm, you know, trying to focus in on writing. For me, I just come up with the melody. I stop what I'm doing and I'll, you know, work and move on it. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, record a little piece there, add a little there, record, you know what I mean? So I presented the song to someone else who wasn't necessarily like a, you know, producer. I wasn't working with anybody. Really, when I got like, you know, the melody for the song. And so I really wanted to, I wanted it to be big. And I think, who was it? It may have been, I don't know if it was Greg or Randall at the time that said, you know, we should have a live band. And I was like, well, how am I going to do that? I don't even have a studio. I don't have this. They're like, well, ask Warren. You know, like,
right.
Because I was like, because people always tell me, we should do this, you should do that. I'm like, I don't have a studio. I don't have this. I don't have that. You know, just, and they're like, you can get it. But at that time, I honestly wasn't connected to like, you know, different musicians and producers like people thought. You know, they think, oh, Mary Mitchell's sister, you have all these people just at your, you know, beck and call. Like, no, it wasn't like that. So you know, we pulled it all together. The song was it was like a musical break in the song, which is why it's kind of like short now, because that was taken out. And so you know, just when everything was happening as far as like, you know, all the different musicians that really just sold, you know what I'm saying, their gift into me, honestly, into this project. Like, I'm so grateful, because I had never, you know, did a song with the full live band. And so I just thought that was super awesome. I played the tambourine. I'm very proud of that. I played the tambourine, so that's me.
Hey, that is a musical instrument. I don't care what nobody says.
Yes,
musical instrument, like for real.
Yes. So
that's so dope. Okay.
Yeah. So it was exciting, but I enjoyed the process. The song, you know, for me, it really was a testament to just like my process as far as moving forward, literally, and all the different things that you kind of go through mentally, you know, and having to work through your own insecurity, work through, you know, the fear, work through the enemy fighting you. And I know for me, fighting me, like, I know some people are just like, I've always wanted to do this. I knew this is what I wanted to do. No, this is something that strictly God had told me to do. And I had to overcome a lot of things just to, you know, move forward in this. So, yeah. Wow. I love it. I love the song, and I was happy, you know, just with it. And so I'm just grateful for everyone who's supportive, who loves it, who plays it. Like, I'm super grateful.
Yeah. Now, how far off into being a artist do you want to go? I mean, do you want to do that full time, or do you see yourself?
I don't.
Education.
Yeah, I don't want to be an artist full time, and I think that because of what I watched my sisters go through. I don't know. You have to deal with a lot. You have to deal with a lot, you know, in business, with people, and with your family. So for me, if that does come, it will come later. And then like, I haven't released the full project yet. You know what I mean? So it's just I don't have a whole team. So for me, I would, if that does happen, it would have to be all God, and he would have to bring the team together. Because as of now, it's not, you know, I'm not even making music right now just because there's no, like, consistent team of people that I'm working with. You know what I'm saying? So
I've been there. No, I get it.
Like,
I get
it. You get it.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I get it. And that was one of the things. So I started my project like in 2005. No lie. 2005 is when I started writing. And
wow.
I released I had wrote songs like before that, but like consistently like working on a project was like 2005. Me and my homeboy who helped produce the record, and that whole process like was just crazy because if you don't have a team, it makes it so much harder to. And then you gotta just.
Let me tell you.
Yeah, it make it harder. So I get it. Yeah, so I get it. It makes it a little harder.
You got to come out of pocket a lot more than
you definitely got to come out of pocket. I mean, I funded my whole project, and then I had sponsors, I had what I mean, stuff. So, but it was a lot of leg work. It was a lot of footwork. You know what I mean? It was like setting up meetings to be like, yo, I'm trying to do a record. I need some bread. You know what I mean? It was like stuff like that. You know what I mean? So
got you.
So I get it. I mean, I get it. I love what you're doing. I love that you are, persistent, and just, spreading the gospel, whether it's through, your social media, whether it's through your music. What can we expect from Shanta? What can we look out for?
I will be releasing an EP this year, even with all that has happened and all the roadblocks I've had. Yeah, I was like, I'm still going to release an EP this year.
Okay. Yeah.
I, of course, will probably doing, just speaking and teaching and stuff. I want to release a devotional on my social media platform. I have something that I call Tay's. Yeah, that's called Tay's Words of Wisdom, or Tay's Words of Encouragement. Yeah. And somebody was like, "Oh, this should be a book. This should be a whatever." And for me, I know
you got that because I was trying to get you to come on here before so you could do a segment like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, on here?
I was trying to get you to come on my radio show.
Recently? Well, we'll talk about that after.
Yeah, we will. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but no. Yeah. So you want to do a devotional?
So it's already done. I just the thing is, so I have a lot of things that I just kind of like write and I kind of put out just through social media, and I never thought, like, I didn't want to like go through the other processes. I was just like, I just want to release it as I get it. I'm that type of person. Like, when I get it, I just want to release it. I don't want to like package it and do it. I don't be one to do all that. I'm just like,
I get it. Yeah, I get it.
So
I get it.
I had to like kind of go over it repeatedly, and I have like probably 100 just segments where it's like a scripture. I'm sorry, like it's like words that I give, a scripture, and then like a prayer. And so I have probably close to 500 of them actually, because I searched the hashtag and I was like, oh, I really was writing. So I took all of those, revamped them, and put it like in a document. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm so impressed, man. That is so dope.
Thank you.
So, well, obviously we're gonna be playing your song, and we're gonna be pumping your music out. So we'll be looking out for the EP. Where can Worship Culture, like, where can we find you at? Like, what's your Instagram? What's your Facebook?
Yeah,
all that stuff.
Absolutely. Instagram and Twitter it's Shanta Atkins. That's ITSSHANTA ATKINS. You can find me on Facebook, facebook.com/Shanta Atkins. Periscope, but I don't think too many people use that. But that's Shanta Atkins as well. Yeah. Okay. And then I have my website.
Give us your website. Okay, Shanta Atkins.
It's ShantaAtkins.com. Okay. Yeah.
All right, cool. So listen, y'all, we got so much more coming up. Shanta, thank you so much for being here with Worship Culture. We appreciate you.
Absolutely.
I forgot. Yeah, go ahead.
So I have a podcast actually, where I talk about everything that I want to talk about. And it's the Shanta Atkins podcast. That's on iHeart Radio. That's on Apple Podcasts, Anchor FM, wherever they have podcasts. You can find my podcast there. Oh my God. As well as my YouTube channel, where I have a lot of stuff. So I'll be having a lot of content, and I just kind of spread it out through all the different platforms, because everybody doesn't just use one. They may want to hear it, or some may want to read it, or some may want to, you know what I mean? So absolutely. I try to diversify it in that way.
I love it so much. I love it. So listen, y'all make sure y'all go follow her, go check her out, check the podcast out, look out for the EP. Definitely download the single right now. The name of the single is
Made Up My Mind.
Made Up My Mind. There you go.
I
didn't want to mess it up. Made Up My Mind. Right. So Made Up My Mind. Make sure you go. If you got, Apple Music, Google Play, whatever it is you have, I'm sure it's out there everywhere. So make sure you go and download that. Don't you touch that dial. We got so much more coming up right now with Worship Culture Radio.
It's Worship Culture Radio.